All right, welcome everybody to another absolutely enthralling episode of Shootin Straight with JD and Joey, a handball podcast. Today's episode is one unlike any other. We are joined with the man, the myth, the legend, Max Littman, owner of the Columbus Armada. Max, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, JD. How you doing?
It's been a long day, very long day. We'll get into that here in a little bit. So, folks, as you can see by the giant empty blue square in the corner of your screen, Joey is not here yet. So he's golfing, and we figured, for the one or two viewers we got out there, we'll get this show started, and we'll go a little bit longer to give him some time to vent on some topics, but Max and I, we think we can handle the sails here and let the ship drift off into the sea. So Max, did you do anything exciting on this Saturday? It was a great weather here in Columbus.
I was about to say, JD. Actually, the old saying, like the early bird gets the worm.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell me you got up at 4 a.m.
I was the early bird today in that. Woke up at a solid 10 a.m. I'm sorry, folks. Did some handball work today. Was thinking a lot about the handball team. I woke to a text from one of my draft picks with some unsavory information that we'll get into. And ever since then, been pretty stressed out.
All right, well, we'll table that conversation here for later in today's episode. So, I'm being attacked by the dogs here shortly, but yeah. So this morning, while the quarantine is lifted in Columbus to an extent, they reopened patio bars. So a lot of people talking about Standard Hall and scenes of 400 plus people converging.
Wouldn't be me, Jake. Wouldn't be me.
I don't personally know anybody that went there, but definitely a real middle finger to the coronavirus safety steps. So, as some avid handballers as we are here in Columbus, we decided to take upon ourselves to go out and get some practice in while we had the beautiful weather, and we went to the RPAC and practiced outside. We thought, nobody's gonna be there. It's Corona quarantine. Nobody's allowed to go outside. All this other mumbo jumbo. And I had other people telling me I was going to get arrested, and I was like, all for the cause. If I were arrested for handball, like, I think that's a newspaper worthy, act. But we get there, and I expected nobody to be there at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, given the state of affairs, and we pulled up over the hill, and there's probably 100 plus people. We had a CrossFit class going on. There was some photographers. There were a couple people playing Ultimate. There was some people playing just catch with baseball. There was a whole, 11v11 soccer game. A couple, high school coaches working with football players, working with their soccer players. A lot of like combine, like training one-on-one with the coach. So I was very just kind of perplexed and shocked by that. So I mean, we were part of the problem. So is what it is.
I'll
there.
tell you what, JD. The only thing worse than regular CrossFit would be doing CrossFit and getting coronavirus on top of it.
That's true. These people were like low key CrossFit, not like flipping tires and doing handstands while like doing curls with your legs. These were like they're doing kettlebells with like 5-pound kettlebells, so it was very tame. But yeah, so we had a full-on practice, and then my coworkers, they'd never played disc golf before, so I said, why not? I'm already on campus, so went and played 18 holes of disc golf after that. So it was good day. Didn't lose any discs, didn't find any, but nice day in the park. So yeah, a little bit, got all that done before Max even woke up. So that's
a busy day, JD.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, couple things. Max, why don't you give us your personal take on the draft from, I think it's 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the Armada had a really strong draft personally. Obviously, very invested in growing our team. I think we already started out really solid, just had a couple holes we wanted to plug and play. My drafting strategy was not taking best available. I think in today's handball climate, not knowing where players will end up best available really is a recipe for disaster for clubs. So we picked who we really thought we wanted to plug into our program. We ended up with Jeb Proctor, Daniel Mills, someone else I can't think of. Didn't lose anyone really. We really thought we shouldn't be losing. So all in all, a good day at the links.
Good. That's good to hear. So, yeah, we'll talk about the controversial number one pick there in a little bit, but we'll keep stalling here until Joseph can make it on the call. Otherwise, we're gonna do this show without him. He says he'll hop on midway. Start without me. Okay. Well, folks,
Midway is the name of a bar at Ohio State. For those who don't know.
That is Midway. Yeah, it's a crazy place, Midway. A lot of sticky floors.
If you're an 18-year-old in the frat, it's a place to be.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But what's crazy, Max, before your time, Midway actually used to be called Bento Go-Go.
And it was I went to the sushi restaurant, actually.
Bento Go-Go might have been the lamest place on campus my freshman year. So when people asked me like, "Oh, did you go to Bento Go-Go?" I was like, "Nobody went to Bento Go-Go." So Midway was a nice transition, definitely a lot more profitable. So, anyways, we'll move along here. If anybody's got any campus bars they want to talk about in the chat, please let us know. We will respond to all chat messages on our Twitch stream. Looks like we have 3 viewers, which is nice, and we have no chat messages. So we're gonna get rolling here so we get this show done in a little over an hour. So as I said, we have our good friend Max Littman here. He's the owner of the Columbus Armada. For those of you that are new to the show, all our today's topics are down beneath me. So we will start with Max since he's here, and if he wants to dip out, we're not going to hold him enslaved to the show, but we'd like to have him on as long as you can. Is that okay with you, Max?
You know, JD, we're in quarantine right now. I got nothing to do.
Great to hear. So, how did you come to be the owner of the Columbus Armada?
It takes me back to an origin story. If you can't tell from looking behind me, I went to The Ohio State University, played for the Ohio State team handball club where I excelled at the collegiate level, was a star, college nationals 2016, balled out against West Point of all people, got noticed. USA junior coach Mark Ortega saw me play, offered me a spot to go to Bolivia with the U.S. junior national team. So that was a fun experience. Got me really into handball after that in that year. JD actually was my coach at Ohio State, the fine program that JD built. At the time, though, JD wasn't head coach. It was coached by a Macedonian man named Tony, who has no relevance to the story. I just like pointing out that Tony was a Macedonian handballer, a hero to the people of Macedonia, and we really appreciate and respect the work he did at Ohio State. So the year after that, sophomore year of college, my sophomore year, I was thinking about what I wanted to bring to the handball community. You know, a lot of people are really selfish. They think, what can they take from the handball community? They take the trips and the exposure
and all the money and cool stuff we get all the time. Yeah,
exactly, JD. I have a full sweatsuit of handball. I wear it probably 3 times a week.
Yeah, people don't realize all the gear we get.
We do get a lot of gear. I wanted to put back. And I realized that by starting the first and only professional handball team in the country, I could make a highly profitable handball team, get more people into handball, and finally climb the upper rung. I went to the U.S. Open of handball my freshman year, and I played with Milwaukee United, who I played with last year professionally, actually. And the elite teams, they're just not good. End of the day, they're washed up old European guys, and I thought that if in Ohio we could put together a team of Americans or non-Americans, we don't discriminate, but guys who aren't over 40, washed up, and terrible handballers, create a team, pay them a little bit, make some money for all of us, and get started. So what I did was I reached out to my old roommate who operated an EASHL, the online NHL video game team called the Columbus Armada because I thought it was a cool name.
Very
Licensed with
nice.
naming rights from him, and incorporated our club, which now is under the umbrella of the Great Lakes Team Handball Association. And we've grown from just me and my idea to a top 15 in the United States team, sponsored by a marijuana company. A lot of good stuff coming our way, all from that one bread idea.
Yeah. It's crazy how a plan comes together sometimes. So, some interesting takes there, Max, on the elite level play here in America. I'm sure we're going to get some repercussions from our 4 viewers that are going to come and trash us. But if they want to come on the show, we'll shoot it straight with them.
JD, I don't think we should be calling it the elite level because, for all intents and purposes, it's not an elite level. It's more like the old age home level, the AARP level, if you will.
AARP, the American. I'm trying to come up with some handball witty acronym. Not quick enough there, but yeah. So that's some takes there from Max Littman. So Max, are you saying that the Armada have what it takes to get into elite?
I sincerely believe if you give us 2 years, you let us recruit like we're capable of. Let me talk to these D3 kids, pitch them on our vision, pitch them on the profitability. If we get our own place to play, we get a court, which we're working on. We get our cannon fodder restaurant. We start making money through those and other legitimate legal schemes. We use that money to start recruiting. We pay good players what they're worth. We get old, washed up D1, D2, D3 guys. In 2 years of handball, these guys will easily be the best in the elites. The elite guys cannot keep up with West Point, let alone a group of guys that are more athletic than West Point and can actually play the game of handball.
All right, you heard it there, folks. A lot of takes, a lot of fire. Max is ready to let the cannons loose. So it's interesting, Max, that you recently moved back to the Columbus area. How was managing the club from the Wisconsin region?
It was tough being an absentee owner. I felt a lot like the owner of the Browns, whatever their name is, the Haslams, being terrible owners. And I decided when I moved back, I didn't want to be a terrible owner. JD was pretty much the surrogate owner. I lived in Madison. I tried to create the Madison Mutiny, a sister team of the Armada. Didn't work. The people of Madison just not very receptive to handball, unfortunately. But moving back really put my head focus first back into what really matters in life, which is the Armada. Taking out the other stuff. We don't need a lot of material possessions, earthly possessions. I'm in my childhood bedroom right now for the next 2 weeks. But what we do need is our team and our sense of community.
Couldn't have said it any better. Could not have said it any better. So we're happy to have you back here in Columbus. And you spoke of a gym potentially. There's something in the works?
Thanks, JD. I can't confirm or deny anything at the moment. Obviously, the COVID-19 situation is very fluid in our community. But what I will say personally, I'm willing to invest in the low to high 5-figure range for the team and what needs to be done. And what needs to be done, of course, is getting a space for us to be able to practice, compete, and ultimately soon get fans at. The number one thing for building the sport, as we all know, is eyeballs on the team, whether it be a TV deal, could be in the works as well, and a gym deal. Both of those go hand in hand. If we can get one, we can get the other.
That's very true. I've gone to many Columbus futsal matches, and they've got a little small-time TV production and a nice-sized gym, and they fill it. I mean, there's 300-plus people in that gym, so it's
yeah,
12,
and for
12
us,
bucks a pop, too.
I think that's the floor for us is Columbus futsal. Obviously, futsal is a different game. I don't think it relates to Americans as much who would rather watch things like professional soccer. And futsal is not the top tier of soccer in the U.S. This is the top tier of handball. This is where we're going. And the ceiling is way higher than that. The ceiling is nationwide arena.
Ceiling is the roof. Ceiling is the roof.
I've been to Europe. I've seen how good top level handball there can be. And I'll tell you, I've seen 20,000 people screaming for Van der Klaarsen Hafenarpsen.
Ah, yes, everyone remembers Van der Hafenarpsen. He's lethal from left wing. Lethal.
Yeah, saw him playing Aarhus. Actually, let's put see what we're bringing up, JD? We're bringing up Aarhus. Yeah.
An official shout out to Aarhus Handball. It's a nice scarf that Max obtained from a trip to Denmark. So cool, excellent recap there on your return to Columbus and future thoughts for the Armada. So Let's move ahead into our next segment here, which is the return to practice. So, as we discussed earlier this morning, I went to a practice with our some of the guys from the Armada, some of the guys from Ohio State, and here's a little video clip of how it went and everybody that stopped by. So, as you'll see there, we got big Ruben Ortega in the middle there, doing his very best. He's a big man. He used to play quarterback actually at Ohio State, so he's trying to get his sea legs back before he can be first mate on the Armada. But it was a good showing. You know, we tried to keep 6 feet apart, and I think everybody had a good time. It was a good workout. It was hot, man. It was humid, mucky. Not as good workout weather. It's just tough to get anything done because everybody's dead. Max, we're going to have to ask you to jack up your volume. You're a little quiet down there.
You got me now, JD?
Yeah, crystal.
I'll tell you what, Ruben Ortega is a big boy. That is a guy I could have as my pivot.
Yeah, he moves mountains. I mean, once we teach him the game, he can be a force. So I'm excited.
You know, he's not the only ex-OSU quarterback we could be looking at. We're looking at JT Barrett. Might not make it in the NFL. This is his make it or break it season.
I've been talking to Braxton Miller, so that's more my style. JT's a little banged up, but Braxton still got a little whoop. So
I mean, we could see his spin move on the handball court, and that would be deadly.
Hitting that B button all day, baby. So, yeah, Braxton's actually like a real estate agent in the Central Ohio area. So, you know, whatever works. You know, if the NFL doesn't pan out, become a real estate agent. So,
you know what? If he plays for us at Oakwood Nationals, I will buy a house from him. I don't care.
Done deal. You heard it here, folks. So, anyways, what I was kind of going at with the return to practice. So, if the bars are opening their patios and the pool is opening in 10 days from now, are we going to be able to get back to the gyms?
I think we're about 3 weeks away from city recreational stuff opening up. I think realistically we could be returning to practice in a month.
All right. That's exciting stuff. I know that the OSU guys have been chomping at the bit to get back. They were disappointed in not being able to host college nationals, and the Armada guys really just need to do some exercise. So it'll be good for everybody, and we may even get some new players looking for something to do post quarantine, because with the pools opening up and everybody been slobbing it on the couch for the last couple months, you're gonna need to see a lot of people hitting the gym.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Good. Any other takes on that, Max?
You know, I think if we can get the whole summer session in, I think the Armada could be in a much better shape than we are today. I want to see a team lift. We've never really had organized team lifting. I think it's something that needs to happen for our team. And I think at the college level too, when I was in college, we didn't have organized lifting as a team. That's something that'll really separate us from the rest of the pack outside of West Point. The Armada, all we really need to do is run a little faster than people that are 45 years old and have severe arthritis and can't walk. I think we can work on that this summer.
All right, good. And Max, there's one topic I forgot to ask about with the Armada that we said we were going to curb for later. Well, it was rumored on Twitter this morning that number 1 overall pick Jeb Hochter, who after being selected by the Armada quickly retired from handball, and it's now being rumored that he will be signing with the Dublin Drunks Team Handball Club. What are your thoughts, and do you have any more information for us on this?
You know, this is upsetting in a number of ways to me. I picked Jeb number 1 because I believe in his future. I think he's one of the brightest futures at the left back position, left wing position, and all of handball in America today. Kid's absolutely electric. I loved everything. I've seen scouted him. I've played with him. I signed him to a tryout contract with the Madison Mutiny. He was our second player. Absolutely excelled for the Madison Mutiny. So I was really looking forward to him bringing his talents to the Armada. And unfortunately, he thought there was a culture problem. I didn't know it existed, really. And I take full blame for that. At the end of the day, everything trickles up, okay? In my handball club, I'm responsible for everything. I'm not going to blame anyone else in the club for making him feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to blame any of our coaching staff, our management, anything. It's all me. I take full responsibility for it. And I can promise the fans and everyone today that we're going to take care of this. Jeb Hochter will be suiting up in an Armada jersey come fall and come the return of organized handball. The Dublin Drunks will not be getting him, and he'll be scoring from our left back position as soon as possible.
Max, one question. We all know that one tournament will be taking place in the next couple months, and that is the Swim and Sport Club handball tournament. Do you think that Jeb will be fielding a squad with the DDTHC, or will he be suiting up with the Armada for that tournament?
He will be suiting up for the Armada. I have a number of ways to convince him to do that. Most prescient is paying for his alcohol expenses at the tournament. We're fully prepared to do that. We do know that those could be in the high four figures as well. We're prepared to do that if we need.
Oh boy. One question as a Dublin resident myself, what can you offer that the Dublin Drunks cannot?
Yeah, what I can offer is a team that's competitive, a team that will allow you to be creative in your own person while also following the team format. The thing the Dublin Drunks don't offer is that camaraderie. They offer a lot of alcohol. We also offer a lot of alcohol, but we also offer the competitive edge. People, when they're leaving college, they need to feel competitive, to be competitive, to be true to themselves, right? That's something the Dublin Drunks we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of them posting up on Bridge Street and drinking too much alcohol. And that's something that will happen with our club, and we promise, but will not take the only form of our club.
Are you telling me that your players are paid in alcohol?
Our players are paid money that they can use for whatever they want. We are not a team that restricts what players buy. If you wanted to buy a foreign like mail order bride with it, be my guest. I don't care. It's your money.
We only had one player that pursued that route, and I think he now has a girlfriend. So I'm thankful that he did not have to go forward with that pathway. It was tough. He said,
talking about Anton.
He said that if I found him a wife, he would give her $10,000. And yeah, I tried. I honestly tried, but I don't know any women that were willing to marry him, even if he gave them.
Yeah, I think that's called a dowry, buddy.
Yeah, but this isn't 1812, so I'm not sure who's buying into that. So, anyways, that's we could go on and on about Anton. But we'll table that.
Man is a menace to the handball society. He will not be suiting up for the Armada again.
He's a good player. I don't mind. I don't think he likes the Armada culture either. So I might want to watch out with him for the Dublin Drunks. He'd be a good asset at center back.
I don't think he drinks.
Anton has been known to have a bottle of water filled entirely with vodka at games. So
oh yeah, that makes sense.
I would say he definitely drinks. Anyways, back to Jeb. One of the things most people don't know about Jeb is actually our liaison for LaCroix, a cool, refreshing, fun, casual drink. So today's episode is actually brought to you by LaCroix, and we're going to get to a commercial that we promised them that we would play. So everybody tune in here for a second while we... oh, geez, this is wrong, also wrong.
The LaCroix, a fun casual drink. The LaCroix, a fun casual drink.
So, everyone, cheers to LaCroix, a fun, casual drink. This is 3 months past expiration, so if I die on air, just let everybody know that LaCroix doesn't have a good shelf life.
Katie, I don't think you can die of drinking flavored carbonated water.
Just putting it out there, I always ask my wife. She said I'd live, but you never know. Can never be too careful.
If I had a wife, I would also ask her things like that. Unfortunately, I'm married to the game of handball.
Well, that's good to hear, Max, and it's the Armada's happy to have someone with such dedication. As we just talked about with Jeb and his love of LaCroix, our next section is actually the 5 ingredients, what's for dinner. Max, are you familiar with this segment of the show?
I'm not. Fill me in, JD.
So basically how this works is we ask a random fan of the show and to give us 5 ingredients, and we have to come up with a dish with those 5 ingredients. So what I had hoped to do last week was make the dish that Mike King gave us. So Mike King gave us pickled herring, German relish, celery, plain Greek yogurt, and couscous. And
that's easy.
Okay, what would you do?
So can it be only those ingredients, or can I add things?
You can add things, but you must use those 5.
Yeah, so first what I'm doing is I'm getting a bagel, everything bagel, sliced in half, toasted, cream cheese one side.
Max, are you
herring
Jewish?
On it. I am very Jewish. I get that Greek yogurt plain, perfect. Put up some cucumber, some mint, some parsley, mix it in. You got a tzatziki. You put the tzatziki on top of the herring. Give me the next ingredient, couscous. Couscous is going on the side of the bagel, no big problem. Next ingredient, JD?
German relish.
German relish, throw it on the bagel. That'll be fine.
Okay. Well, folks, that's what Max would cook up. Kaylee gave me the idea of kind of making it into a burger and using the yogurt and couscous as a binding agent with the herring and using the mustard as a mustard for the burger. So we had full intentions of making that meal, and I think we will do it next episode. So stay tuned for that. But what we'll do today is we're going to call up Jeb and see if he can give us 5 ingredients if he's not blacked out by now. So let's see if he answers.
It's 9:37, JD. I do believe he could be.
Hello?
Hey, Jeb, this is JD. You are live on Shootin Straight with JD and Joey, a handball podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great, JD.
That's great to hear. We're joined, our special guest is Max Littman. We were just talking about you, and we actually were hoping you might be able to help us out with the next segment of the show, which is our 5 ingredients, what's for dinner. Are you familiar with the segment?
I'm not familiar with the segment.
So all you got to do is give us 5 random ingredients, and Max and I will work on cooking up a fantastic meal for you. Do you think you can do that?
All right.
Lay them on us.
Chicken.
Okay.
Bell peppers.
Okay.
Water chestnuts. Rice. Let's just go with some sort of spice. Let's go paprika.
Okay. This seems almost too easy. Thank you, Jeb, for your time. Do you have any words you'd like to say to all of our viewers?
Let's go the Dublin Drunks.
Oh, fire there. Thank you, Jeb. We'll talk with you later. Okay, so anyways, that seems like a slam dunk. I'm going to make this for lunch tomorrow.
This is easy, right, JD?
Yeah. What do you walk me through your thought process here, Max?
Okay,
Carbonation's hitting me with this LaCroix.
I like roast chicken, so I'm getting a sheet pan. Chicken's going on the sheet pan. The spice was paprika, right?
Yeah.
Paprika, salt, pepper, olive oil on it. Bell peppers, julienne next to it. Same spice ingredient with olive oil too on the same pan. It's all good.
Yep.
What's the next ingredient, JD?
Water chestnuts and rice.
Yeah, I mean that's a little obscure, but what I'm gonna do there is just make a rice pilaf. So rice, pilaf. I don't really know what pilaf is. It just sounds fancy.
Rice pilaf.
You know, some diced onions, garlic. Throw the water chestnuts in. So then you're gonna have, finished meal is a nice roast chicken, bell peppers, and you can put the bell peppers all nice over your rice and water chestnut combo.
Yeah, I think you just dice up the water chestnuts so they're small enough. You just put them in with the rice. It just kind of adds some crunch to that rice.
Yeah,
I think that would work. You could also. I'm a big fan of bacon wrapped water chestnuts. Have you ever had those? You can
JD,
eat,
I've
but
never
you
had
can't
bacon in
eat
my life.
bacon, so I'm sorry. Anyways, to all our viewers, bacon wrapped water chestnuts, fantastic tailgating snack. Um, I always have them at Super Bowl time. So all you got. It's very simple. You just cook the bacon a little bit, wrap it around the water chestnut, throw some barbecue sauce on there, throw it in the oven. Boom shakalaka. So I asked if anybody wanted some LaCroix in the chat. No response. So we got 3 viewers and no love. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. So Max, we're gonna move along to our next segment here as we approach the halfway mark of the show. I've called this "To Stick 'em or Not to Stick 'em." I'm hoping to make this a reoccurring weekly thing with our guests, but it's a twofold question. So question 1, do you believe in using Stickum? And if so, how do you plan to roll it out in America?
Yeah, I'll take that. Absolutely. I hate playing without stickum. I'll tell you what, JD. I have small hands. Everyone in the handball community knows this. My hands are teeny. My fingers are.
They call him Max Small Hands Littman all the time.
That's what they call me.
Middle of the game, like,
they
hey,
call me
small hands. Little SH, get over here.
And, in my playing days, I've gotten a lot of hate for dropping passes. I drop passes because with no stickum and small fingers, it's really tough to corral balls in because they just slip right out.
Sure.
I love stickum. I can catch with one hand with ease. I don't drop passes. In every tournament we've had where I've had stickum on me, I've played 100 times better. I score. Last Swim and Sport Club tournament, I had 2 different game winners. I'm an incredible player when I have the tools to be an incredible player.
I have to agree. Max, his level of play is stepped up significantly when Stickum is involved. Now, the second half of that question, how on earth would we roll that out to America? Because, people worship basketball.
I think at this point, what we have to do is get someone to literally invent an easy-to-use spray-on Stickum remover. And we get that and just douse the basketball court with it and get all the Stickum off of it.
So you're
I
just
don't know if that
gonna
exists.
Spray this because that does exist. So you'll see that in Europe all the time, and I've done it myself.
I don't trust Europeans, really, so I can't really believe
all
that.
I'm saying is that you have to then go around and have a bunch of people with towels wiping the spots by hand, which is
not
the exactly
big,
effective.
The
Zamboni?
during the basketball game, like cleaners. No, not the Zamboni, but the big
mop
brooms.
girl. Yeah,
the mop girl. Yeah.
No,
we'll get a mop girl.
No, we will need like 30 mop girls in every stadium.
So we get 30 mop girls. Like, I don't see the issue.
Max, you find me 30 mop girls, we are in business. We are losing followers like fire here. It
was the mop
bad.
girl puck.
Yep.
I think there's a way to do it. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it would just take talking to the people at courts and convincing them that we can effectively clean courts. I've used Stickum recently. I played with Milwaukee United, a game against someone, Illinois State in Rockford, Illinois. And I played great in that game because we had Stickum, and we cleaned the courts thoroughly afterwards, no issue. We were sharing the courts with the Rockford, Illinois Junior NBA.
Ah, the Junior NBA. Wow. Big shoes
They
there.
They were in 5-year-old age group.
Junior really means junior. Okay, wow. Cool. So the second part of this segment is, as you know, when you play with Stickum, if you grab somebody's jersey or if the ball hits your shirt, it just is all over you, and now you're just a walking goop.
Yep.
So is there any person that you would want to cover in Stickum?
I mean, right now, Jeb Hochter. He just disrespected me on this podcast, and I'm not okay with it.
All right. Jeb?
I took a chance on him. I drafted him number 1 overall. And not everyone would do that. I think he fails to realize that I got criticized on your podcast for doing that.
Yeah, that is quite the way to trash the owner. We'll see this unfold on Twitter, I'm sure. So, folks, stay tuned and follow the Columbus Armada on Twitter, as well as the Dublin Drunks THC. So we should see a lot of great action. They came up with a logo pretty quickly. So you know what? Hey,
they followed me on Twitter this morning, and I didn't follow back.
Hey, as you should. So, folks, we are welcome and excited to allow Joey onto the show. Now we got to figure out how I'm going to put his camera up here. So when he joins, I'm going to have to do some quick editing here. I apologize for my lack of OBS skills as I don't do the preview situation. So, Joey, are you with us? Oh, there we go. There's Joey. Give me one moment here, folks, as I'm going to try to do some nifty handiwork. So, Joey, how's it going? I see you got some great hair going on there.
Sorry, I'm fashionably late.
That's okay. Max and I have had a stellar time. We kind of covered some of the more boring topics. So
Got my golf hair.
yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So let me see. Give me 1 second.
Sweet. Thanks for
hold on. Oh, geez. Okay. Stand by, everyone. Joey, you want to talk about how? Oh, we lost him. Oh, he'll be back. Hopefully. Max, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here, Jay.
Okay. This is what we like to call in the TV business some technical difficulties. So.
Ooh, my bad.
Okay, Joey has returned.
What's up?
Okay, so
Hey,
you
man.
were just talking about your hair and how you're doing today. So why don't you lay that on us while I finish updating your picture?
Well, I suck at golf, which isn't news. So learned that. Well, I reaffirmed that today. And yeah, sorry for being late.
It's
Thank
okay.
you for falling on the sword for me, Max, and taking all the boring stuff, it sounds like.
Of course, I got you, dude. Anytime.
Good man.
What'd
What'd you guys talk about?
So we kind of just talked about the state of the Armada, maybe the pathway to returning to practice for handball in America. We did the 5 ingredients, what's for dinner segment, and we were just in the middle of a new segment we'd like to roll out, the to stick 'em or not to stick 'em.
Oh, God.
So
Is that even a debate?
there's 2 pieces to the puzzle here. One is, I would assume, the obvious answer in that, would you use Stickum in America or not? Which I assume everyone would say yes. But the second half of that question is, if you did such, how would you roll it out to gyms, especially new teams?
Has somebody already tackled this question?
Yeah,
Max
I did.
Max went at it
Max.
like a wet paper bag.
Spark notes it right now. Here's your second chance.
All right. Nothing I love more in the game than Stickum. It's absolutely essential. We can't. It's not the game if we're not playing it. We're playing just soccer with our hands. We got to just go right at it with gyms. You know what? They might be mad. We can't care. Because if we care, that stoops us down to their level. We're above that. We're professional handballers. If their gyms are sticky, so what? We'll clean it up after. And we don't need to tell them. We don't need any advance notice. It's part of our game. If they fail to look into team handball and we ask for a rental and they give it to us, that's on them. I know you're almost a lawyer. You know the liabilities. I'm not, but I did graduate with a pre-law specialization at The Ohio State University. Took one law class. It was pretty light.
Basically, lawyer.
And what it told me in that constitutional law class where I got an A- was that if they fail to look something up, that's on them. When the Marbury failed to look up Madison, that was on him.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We will talk for you guys.
Great analysis there, Max.
Thanks,
I'm
JD.
not sure about how sound the legal analysis was, but the spirit is there, and I'm with you. It's for us so far, and it's kind of bad. Like, I just haven't really been saying anything about Stickum to the gyms, and the fact that they don't know it exists kind of helps, and to try to explain it, I think would only cause more problems than solutions, and I'm a solutions guy. So, keep in mind too, most people have just it's just a foreign idea playing with it. So we just have been sort of slyly, silently rolling it out. But yeah, it's literally it's a different it's not the same sport without Stickum. And I've heard some people recently say that like they're trying to get rid of Stickum in Europe, and that's just horse hockey. That's nonsense. It makes the game. It's a completely different sport when you can just like catch the ball one-handed and like do this and not have to like rip it. It's more like throwing a lacrosse ball than it is even throwing a baseball once you have Stickum, and it's great.
You know, I've played with you in Europe, and I've felt those handballs in Europe, and it's just a different world from here.
Yes, it is.
So
nothing like getting the ball and going like this.
I think we're all on the same page with Stickum, but what my second half for Max's question was, how do we do a better job of cleaning it in an effective manner?
It's a good question, JD.
So, Joey, if you have an answer on that. A more effective cleaning method, because that's the downside, is that nobody wants to spend, all right, we just had 20 guys play here. Why don't you all get a rag? Tell your mom, tell your girlfriend, go grab a rag and start getting on your hands and knees and clean up this game after we just had a recreational game of handball. So that's something I want to avoid and try to streamline that process. So if we can invent something, or if something's already out there, if you're one of our viewers and you know an easy way to clean Stickum, please say something in the chat. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I can't help you with the court part. That one kind of sucks unless you have one of those little like floors zambonis, I call them, which like have the little like disc on top. Those are gold. Mm-hmm. But I've been seeing this stuff in Sweden where they like put tape on the post of the goal, and so like it gets all gucked up, and then they just take the tape off. So that's a solution for the goal.
That's a nifty one. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep thinking about that. Hopefully some of our viewers have some great points to chip in. The second part of this, we were at 4 and we just dropped to 2. So you win some, you lose some. The second part of this segment, though, Joey, is, as you know, when you play with Stickum, it just gets all over your clothes. It's all over your hands. You can't touch anything. Is there any person in the handball world that you would want to cover in Stickum? Just because you just ticked off with them,
like would would you rather have like Cheeto fingers for the rest of your life, or like? Oh, let me think about that one, Max.
Like,
how about you?
Just go grab somebody and just
the disrespect
covered in Stickum.
Shown today about the hockey was more than anything that I should have to bear as a professional handball owner.
Joey, to catch you up to speed, Jeb was the number 1 draft pick from the draft a few weeks ago, and he retired immediately after being alerted that he was going to have to sign with the Columbus Armada. His agent and him worked out a deal that he would go quiet for a while, and while they were doing that, they actually built a new handball team called the Dublin Drunks Team Handball Club, and Jeb has announced that he will be signing with the Dublin Drunks. Max,
I know that like sometimes we joke and sometimes we're serious. Is this serious? Because that would be really cool.
So a little bit of both, as Max is frustrated here, but as I alluded to, I am a Dublin resident. Jeb is soon to be a Dublin resident. So if I can muster up a few more Dublinites, Dubliners, as they call themselves, we might be able to have our own offshoot of the Armada. So, something to think about for the future. Max is in some hot water, though, as the owner of the Armada, trying to, not lose his longtime first overall pick with the club when they had the expansion draft, and myself, and the most recent number 1 overall pick with Jeb. So, hopefully he doesn't have to. I have Dublin City Schools, so it's
but you don't have kids. Are you? Do you go to school, baby? Are you 5?
Not yet. So
then I don't want to hear it.
So, anyways, Joey, that's who Jeb would cover with Stickum. For me, it's an obvious answer. There's one person in the handball community that just grinds my gears every time I see his face, and it's the pivot from Minnesota. That
Miles
dude.
Bacon.
No, it's not. I don't have any bows to throw with Miles, but the pivot from Minnesota, that guy. I don't think anybody in handball hates me more than that guy, and I don't
What's
know.
The backstory?
So we played in a tournament in Milwaukee a few years ago, and he was a big flopper. and
Uh,
did it during the games that we played with them. And then I kind of don't like Ryan for this one, but I don't blame him. So we had to referee the last game, which was the championship game, and Milwaukee to Columbus is solid, 7.5,
short drive.
8 hour drive, and so they forced myself and a guy Scott Simmons from Illinois State, who'd never refereed a game, to referee the championship game of that tournament,
Nice.
which was between Chicago and Minnesota, and Chicago clearly was the better team, but we still had to do the refereeing. So Scott missed a few calls here and there. I was very strong with my calls, and it gets to the point where I'm getting heckled from people in the stands saying, I refereed a better game last week, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, I'm a volunteer. I got an 8-hour drive after this. Come take the whistle. I'm gone. And then they shut up. But
done that.
the guy, the pivot, he kept giving me he's just in my face the whole time. And so every time I'll admit, I was a biased referee because he was being a dick to me, so I was being a dick to him. So every time he'd shoot, he'd land in the 6 before he released the ball, and I was like, "Sorry, buddy, that's not how the rules go."
Handball.
Yeah. So yeah, we went back and forth. He probably doesn't remember that at all, but an elephant never forgets for me. So that's my take on that, but.
In a similar vein, JD, I'll never forget you beating Miles Bacon's head in at a game at the Buckeye Fall Classic 2016.
We went over this, I think, on a previous episode. It was not Miles Bacon. Miles was not present for the altercation.
It was Miles Bacon.
I swear he was there. I swear
Miles was not
Miles.
there. I
Miles
don't think.
was 100% there. It was UNC.
It was UNC. I don't remember Miles being
Who else
there.
would it be, JD? Who else on UNC would fight you?
I don't remember. It was some Greek guy. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was.
You had a
it was
crazy
an
look in your
American
eye.
guy.
Mm-hmm. Out for blood. So UNC
As
guys don't
someone that
like
ran for your
us.
defense, JD,
Huh?
as someone that fought in that brawl too, I was out there on the floor on
Were
the court,
you?
sticking up for my.
I don't
I
remember
did
that.
run out. Yeah,
All right.
I ran out.
remember that either.
I ran back quickly, but I was.
This is a little bit of a
okay. Yeah.
history right here.
Did you have Tony's back too when Tony started fighting people?
I did not have Tony's back. I
Okay.
never did.
I don't think many people had Tony's back.
If
Sad
he let me play at
times.
practice, I would have had his back.
Joey, we'd also like to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by LaCroix, a fun casual drink. So, anyways, what were you going to
Not
say?
lacrosse.
Yeah, not
Lacrosse, a fun casual sport.
Yeah. We'll get to that. I'll bring out the spoons maybe next time. So I actually just received a text from my friends that they need me for Warzone. So we're going to have to hopefully wrap this up here in our 12-minute mark as we approach 10 minutes left in the game. So I shouldn't say the game, the pod. Joey, do you have anybody for the Stick'em comment? Who do you want to stick 'em?
Max, I would cover you and stick them just because I don't like you.
That's fair. I'd take that. I'd love to be covered.
And that's why you would be covered even more stick 'em.
All right.
You know,
Max
at
just
the end of the
taking
day, I'll
it. He's just taking it. Like we'll leave what he's taking it like. We'll put that on the curb.
Like a guy covered in stick 'em.
Yep. As someone who,
and I think we've got a long-standing beef ever since I played exceptionally well in the game against your team in Denmark. I lit up ICAST Academy. I can't say any other
this
one.
is where I need to pull up the clip of Max
No, you don't.
getting
We can
wrecked.
get that out. That could be in a future episode of the
Oh
pod.
man, if I knew better how to work my program here, I could have that in a matter of seconds.
Clip that and put it on
I already
Twitter.
have it clipped. It's already
It's
on
already
Twitter.
clipped.
It's already there. Yeah.
Did I get alley-ooped on? Did I get scored on probably 15 times? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I drew a foul and a penalty shot.
Joey probably doesn't remember any of that, but I just was rewatching the game and I just torched Max with all the clips. So it's if you guys want to go check out, go to Twitter and there's a long chain about 8 videos of Max getting just manhandled against.
Can I put myself, JD?
Go ahead, sure, yeah. Try to defend
So at
yourself.
that game, So the other guy at my right wing was
Blame it
Thomas.
on Thomas.
No, Thomas got injured earlier in the game, so I had to play the whole game on the long courts. My feet were blistered.
Max, I'm going to stop you because there's
Injured
video
or-
evidence showing that Thomas re-enters the game.
for a very short time.
That's true.
That sounds like you lack grit.
I did at the time, and ever since then, I've hit the gym. As you can see by these certified
Look
guns.
at them guns.
Been working out a lot lately. That's triple the size they were.
Max
last
told me he's been lifting 2 times a day. 2 times.
in the morning and at night.
Wow.
So
That's the grit that we need on the Armada. I'm setting
yeah.
an example for my boys.
That's what an owner does. So Joey, as an owner yourself, pave the way. And speaking of paving the way,
more Robert Kraft style of owner. I'm more of the better owner.
do we have any massage parlors that the team gets free access to or anything like that?
They open up in the state of Ohio next week, I think.
Yeah, good. Okay, anyways, talking about paving the way, we're going to talk brief. Both of you guys have been very involved with starting your own clubs. Let's talk about a quick list of what you need to start a successful handball club in the United States of America.
Max, ladies first.
All right, I got this.
This stickum trash is going off.
I hate to say, but the first thing you need is money. Money drives everything. As a successful businessman myself, me and JD are both well endowed in that area. And that's why the Armada has really...
Probably the only area you're well endowed.
Yeah. Me and JD both, actually. So for the club, the number one thing is money. You need startup capital. Just like any other business.
Let me pause you there, Max. Pause, Max.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that money?
I'm getting to that, JD.
All right.
I'm getting to that. The second thing you need to do is utilizing that money or not. You need a committed core, right? You need 4 or 5 guys who are all for it. They'll run through war for you. Like JD for me, JD would run through the hills of Afghanistan.
Wouldn't think twice. Suit me up. I'm there.
Other guys in the Armada, we have like guys like Devin Bartlett. We've only known him for 2 years, and that guy, great player.
Devin and Marcus,
other
they're
guys in the Armada, committed, and that's what you need. You need the core guys. You need leadership. You need good leadership structure. You need trust. Everyone needs trust. Trust fund. You need money, and then that's the step we're at right now. To grow even further, we need to start utilizing that money to go further, which is what we're doing with our cannon fodder restaurant concept and our upcoming gym.
You heard it here, folks. Shiver me timbers, hoist the sails, and grab yourselves a floppy fish at cannon fodder.
And it's going to be tasty.
Anyways, Joey, I disagree with everything Max said, so please, not everything. I disagree with a couple things. So, Joey, what would you say are the key elements to starting a successful handball club in America?
As much as I hate to agree with Max, it's what you kind of were alluding to without saying it in so many words, but like if you treat it like a business, it helps. I don't know. Like you said, you need like money. Obviously you need a core group of people, whether that's like 2 to 3 or 5 to 10, like you just need a group of people who are always like ride or die for handball. But like, if you look at it like a business, then it's easier to be like, I don't know, like just from like reading business books and like listening to business podcasts, it's a lot about like just getting through the shit early on and like, wow, this sucks. And then like stuff starts, you learn that way. Whereas like, if I just kind of looked at this as a hobby, it would be just the most depressing hobby ever because wow, like I drive 45 minutes to a gym that's like, having a handball clinic and there's nobody that shows up, but like, if you look at it like a business, like, okay, like this is just a chapter for my memoirs and 50 years, you know what I mean? But like looking at
teams are worth in the millions of dollars. We're going to look at this like any other, like Jeff Bezos. He looks at the start of Amazon like, wow, that was amazing. That's what we're going to be looking at 5 years down the road.
The dots connect looking backwards, not forwards. So yeah, look at it like a business. Seriously, that's one thing too. Many people don't really do, and that's I think it'll turn the corner for a lot of clubs if they say, all right, like I get we're here to play handball, we're all passionate about it, but like this thing needs to support itself financially, and once it can do that, then we can like make investments in cool shit. Like hopefully at some point we can get like our own place, and like you guys, you're gonna start a fucking restaurant or some shit. I don't know. But like
cannon fodder, baby.
Yeah, whatever you guys have planned, you can't do it without having a business mindset and saying like just looking at it in a way that like there's return on investment. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. I think you guys both touched on the key aspect in my mind, which is just dedicated individuals. So, I look at how we started both the Armada and Ohio State, and every single player that started the Ohio State team with me no longer plays handball. They did not. They stopped playing handball almost a few weeks after we started the club. So that's where you see a lot of kids and a lot of teams that they get all high on life and they're like, all right, let's start a handball team. Yeah. And then they realize that all of their friends are just like, dude, this is dumb. Like, why are we doing this? And they back out. And then that guy's like, well, I still want to do this, but nobody else wants to. So you really have to, like you said, get through the high waters there at the start and find the people that want to be around. And I found those people, and people like Max and yourself, like those are the people that want to be, making some magic happen. They see the potential. I mean, that's my big thing selling to these people is that you can do whatever you want with handball. I mean, it's the Wild West. Like, we could come in and do anything, and the possibilities are endless. So I try to sell kids on that, and some of them like it, some of them don't. Some of them, I just get really frustrated with today's generation, and I don't know if it's just lack of motivation or what. I mean, we're not that old, but I talk to kids and I'm like, hey, here's a business opportunity you can put on your resume. Like, this is a real job life experience that I need you to help me with. And they're like, oh yeah. And then they just don't do anything. And I'm like, I don't want to have to micromanage you. Like, you're going to go into a real world situation. You're going to have a boss breathing down your neck. Where are these reports? Where is this? Where is that? I don't want to have to do that to you. I'm trying to be nice and give you, some beneficial life experience here that you just don't want. But the money thing for me, I think, is really not entirely necessary. If you have to be, there's a little bit of luck, because in every situation that I've been in with handball, we've been able to fundraise with a group of dedicated people that we've had, and that has covered any potential costs that we've associated with. And it's one thing that I know that people don't think to do, stooped so low as to doing bake sales. Me and 3 of my buddies, we sat one night, made like 300 cookies. I, went to Krispy Kreme donuts at 3 a.m. to pick up 25 dozen donuts, because you could get them at a cheaper price, and then you sell them for like $1 a donut, and you paid only like 10 cents for that donut. So it's 90 cents a profit a donut, and you're selling, what did I just say, 25 dozen. I mean, it's stuff like that people don't want to do, but it takes that, you got to get rolling, and then the money will start coming in to the point where you're stable, and then you can start looking at real money, I think. But people don't want to do the hard work.
Beyond the bake sales and stuff, like, I think that, and I mean, that's, the $1 million question for everybody is like, how do you make handball, like, how do you sell handball? How do you not sell
we need space.
I mean, this isn't like a jab or anything, but like, how do you stop selling donuts and start selling handball?
Yeah,
right.
No, it's true.
Give me a gym. Give me a gym where I can fill it, and I can have consistent games with teams, and I can fill it. If you give me the space and give me the opportunity, I can market it. It's not an issue. I just need the space.
What are you telling these people? Because we've had the gym, Max. We've had the gym.
The RPAC is not what I'm marketing.
We've had Quicken Loans Arena, Max.
Yeah. What's a gym?
If that had been in Columbus, I would have gotten 500 people there. The issue is it was in Cleveland.
So you're telling me, Max, if I get you a gym, that you'll have 500 people in there?
I will get you 500 people.
All right.
Hold on.
You heard it here, folks.
Back the phone up here. So, Max, are you saying like a Columbus versus Chicago, or like an Ohio State A versus Ohio State Scarlet?
It'd be easier Columbus versus Chicago. I could get people for Columbus versus Ohio
Columbus
State.
versus Detroit.
I would get 500 people.
I'm calling your bluff, Max.
I'll do it.
You can get 500 people.
I will get 500 people.
I will be the happiest guy alive if you can.
I'll tell you what. I haven't had the ability to showcase them as well as I can. I have uncanny social media abilities.
Okay. He does.
Uncanny.
He does.
I get 40 likes a tweet, and I tweet made up stories about my life.
Make them get fired from Pizza Hut.
I got 70 likes for saying I got fired from Pizza Hut. I don't even eat. I do eat Pizza Hut sometimes, but that's not the point. I can target ads. I win elections. I was brought up in politics. Winning an election is the same thing as filling a handball arena.
Max worked for the governor of Puerto Rico.
I did work for the governor, Governor Rosselló, great man. He would come to the game potentially if he's out of prison.
Max. Oh. That's hilarious. Hey, let's set a date and let's make that happen because
let's do it.
What's a facility in Columbus that's less than 1,000 people, but that's not the
RPAC? That's what we struggled with a lot in Columbus. Is
there
we
are
really
places.
Don't have
There's probably an indoor soccer place. Is there an indoor soccer place?
There is, but it's not the infrastructure of the stands isn't there.
Is there a bar in the facility?
Resolute.
I hope.
Resolute has
I don't know
bar.
if does Resolute have it, JD?
Yeah.
We could do an outdoor game at the Fortress. That's what I've been thinking about a lot.
What's the Fortress?
That's where the Ohio Machine played.
Where the pro lacrosse team played. No one uses
it. That's too big. That's too big.
We could fill it halfway.
All right, this Resolute place might be perfect. I'm looking at it right now.
So they got a bar upstairs. You can sit upstairs and watch from above, kind of thing.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, let's do that. How expensive is it?
I know the owners. You would know the owner. Probably maybe Joey. Oh dang it, I'm blanking on his name. He's a big face-off guy. Played for the Boston Cannons. Dang it. Kelly.
Oh, he's a lacrosse guy?
He's a lacrosse guy. It's a lacrosse focus. Yeah, something Kelly.
Wait, JD, is he from Worthington?
Yeah, he's from Columbus. I've
been to his house before.
Dude's jacked. He's a big man.
Nice.
His mom hosted a house tour that I went on once.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, he and my mom's old business partner, Matt Lee, they own the facility. So if we can coordinate that, I think. So yeah, post quarantine, let's get this cooking. Along as Max, as you might have heard, our barge idea got shot down.
No,
the barge.
When we're down.
We need to find a new barge service.
Small barge is gonna work. JD, after watching the college basketball and the aircraft carrier go so badly.
All right, well. Maybe we could have. We'll keep brainstorming there, but Resolute, mark it down, put on the books.
JD, this is the exact type of place we were going to play our home matches at. Just FYI.
Were you going to roll out a different flooring?
Nope. Okay. We were just going to put tape down for lines.
Yeah, it's easy. Done.
You can use glue. It's like Partili Cup. Just use glue, and you don't even have a problem.
I think everybody would be on board with that. So. Okay. All right. So, anyways, so it sounds like a couple key points for people on starting a handball team that will be successful in America is dedication. Not just one person. You need, like Max said, a solid 4 or 5 individuals. You don't necessarily need a full team, but you need at least a handful of guys and ladies that are willing to put in time, effort, sacrifice to make this happen. Joey and Max both said money, and I guess I'm very fortunate that I've been able to help with a lot of the costs that Ohio State has had. They always pay me back, but most clubs aren't that fortunate. So it's having somebody that's able to financially, whether that's loan money or whatever. So, cool. So, anyways, last topic of the day is our Build-A-Baller. So this week we're on backcourt. So our left back, right back, we'll focus on those two. So Max, basically we're just going through a hot list, some adjectives, some key attributes on what you'd want an ideal left and right back player.
Tall.
All right, done. We're writing it down. Joey, what do you got, Max? Keeping it short and sweet for us.
Above average height.
Okay. All right.
JD, I got one. I want vision.
Vision.
But what I mean by that is the back has a lot of responsibility in the offense, right? They can attack through gaps, pass it off to the pivot, pass off to the wings. And I've played with a lot of backs who really struggle with the whole court vision, taking like 12-foot shots that go nowhere, 12-meter shots just out of nowhere. I want a back with really precise knowledge of where their wing is, where the pivot is, where the center is.
Court awareness is what you're looking for. Court awareness.
What was that?
Court awareness.
Yeah, but that's what vision is, exactly. And the vision to understand what's going to come next in the game.
Handball IQ.
All right, handball IQ. Got it.
Real scrappy gym rat.
I'm looking for the slasher, so it's somebody who's not afraid to get beat up. They realize they're going to be running. It's like a running back. You know, they see the hole, and they know that they're going to hit that hole, and someone's going to hit them. So same thing with a left back, right back. They're bursting through that gap, and they know that they're full head of steam, and they got to get through there to get a clear shot off. So I'd say fearless is one other attribute that's important for a backcourt player.
Ballsy.
And confident. Yeah, ballsy. Yeah, moxie. You know,
One out, JD. I want to flop.
a flopper.
Remember the days of Carter Hall. Carter Hall was an all-time flopper at that.
This
And
is
he gained
true.
a lot of-
This is true.
Lived off the back. I want my back to flop with effort. There's no effort. Effortless flopping.
Good. I think we kind of covered that there. I know we're just over the hour mark, and I know people like to keep it right around an hour, but I will like to note one thing. Shout out to Max here for joining me on Random Jersey Saturday. It looks like he's rocking a Barca jersey. He is.
Alternate, yeah.
Good. For those you don't know, every Saturday it's Random Jersey Saturday. So, you know, if you follow me on random social media, send me your random jersey. So Joey's rocking the Hawaiian shirt, so that's equally as valuable. So cool. All right. Well, Joey, since you missed over the first half of the show, you got anything that you wanted to touch on?
Well, I'd like to just give an RIP to the Colorado Wolfpack. Wolfpack, who I didn't realize was a club, but apparently, per their Twitter, are no longer a club for some reason. I guess the guy, like we said, I don't know, lacked either money, grit.
He told me. I asked. I asked because I was like, if you're the amount of money that he said he lost, it just goes back to not treating it like a business. You got to be.
God, how much money did you lose?
A lot of money on paying for gyms.
On what?
He would pay for gyms without knowing anybody was coming, and it's just like, ugh.
Holy.
So
fuck.
you know,
how many people were on his team? Give us the whole.
I'm pretty sure he said he had like 5 guys that would be a part of the team, and they were trying to combine with Salt Lake and all this other stuff. And you know, if you only got 5 guys coming to a practice and your gym is, you know, a couple $100 an hour, find a different gym. I'm sorry. Like, we're very fortunate here in Columbus that we only have to pay $1 per person per week for our gym, which is, it doesn't get any better than that. And that's something that, you know, realize in Denver area, you can't practice outside all year round. So you got to find a place, and it's really a lot of research to try to find what you can do in your price range to make it work. Because otherwise, I mean, that's why the Columbus team handball club died, you know, right when we got onto the scene, because they were practicing at a facility that was $100 an hour per practice, and basically they'd make everybody pay $5-10 when they showed up, and then Tony and D-May would foot the bill for whoever didn't show up. And then it's like they just said, screw it, we're not. Why are we paying for these guys to practice that don't even want to come? So it's frustrating because the gym fees are the number one cost that people have. Jerseys, you know, whatever. Jerseys, you bid jerseys for $10. You know, if you really want to get just T-shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, getting court time is not easy to do, especially in our colder states. So that's the breakdown on them. It was a rise and fall, joining the John Ryan tombstone, the graveyard, which is, I always find a good historical, you know, reference for the state of handball in America. So shout out to John and Team Handball News.
And all too real, just look at handball in the U.S. Like, if you're starting a club, and I mean, nothing against, God bless this Colorado guy. If he was willing to like do all that for the club, like, it's a bummer that a guy like that is getting like
shafted.
Yeah, well, like just not this. I mean, it was kind of his own doing, but like he's probably never going to want to do shit with handball again, just because he's like why? What's the point? Like it makes. I know the feeling too, especially when I tried to start a team at Hope. It's like sick to my stomach. Don't even want to think about doing anything with handball because God, I'm just going to waste my money, waste my time, feel like an idiot, and for nothing. But I don't know. That's where treating it like a business comes kind of helpful. Like, okay, this sucks now. Just got to figure out a way to make this at least not lose money. And maybe in the process, people can have fun. And then we can figure out a way to like turn this into a business. Just turn it into a business. That's the takeaway for today. Be a businessman.
Be a business.
Be an entrepreneur. Bootstraps. Brick by brick.
People like golf. Fundraisers at Top Golf. Very successful. I will also say the Super Bowl squares handball team has racked in mad stacks from Super Bowl squares the last few years. So just for those looking for fundraising ideas, those are very simple ways to make a lot of money very quickly.
JD, even beyond fundraising, they just need to figure out a way where there's revenue coming
budget,
from handball that's reasonable. Like, a budget, but like also, all right, so like the $5 people would pay to go to a gym, like, I mean, it sucks to make somebody pay $5, but if you say, okay, pay $100 for the next year, and that's just pulling that a number out of thin air, like work some margin in there that you can reinvest like into nicer jerseys or just hold on to it for like the club.
Yeah.
And you can kind of accrue some walking around money for the club.
So walking around shoes.
What?
Need some walking around shoes.
Get to the point where you're paying for flights and stuff.
Yeah.
That's in our next step.
Luckily, everybody for our squad is not needing a plane. So, but one day. Cool.
One day soon.
All right. Well,
that was the half hour I missed by that.
Good. Beautiful. Don't get a comb, Joey. I like it the way it is, by the way. That's wonderful. I'm wearing a hat. Otherwise, I got the same thing. So, Max, you got any closing remarks, Max? You want to say to our millions of viewers?
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate having you on. You sound like you're underwater, Max.
JD, nothing like being on the top handball podcast in the country. I appreciate it. I appreciate both of you and what you've built here.
Danke, Max. All right. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time, most likely next Saturday, and we will try to do better at being on time. We'll get there. We promise. All right, cool. Deuces.